And she went on to chapter 3. And chapter 3 says everything is for a purpose. Sometimes a person needs an operation because something inside his body is not proper. And then when the surgeon opens up and he sees what's wrong, and then he sews it back up, takes out whatever's wrong, takes out that infected appendix, and appendicitis, and sews the body back up, and the body's better than before. And she looks up again and she's crying and she's arguing with the heavens. This young lady, not judge, she's talking, she's in full, what we call Ibuladud, she's in complete personal prayer now. Okay, she's arguing. Says, good Lord, I'm in open heart surgery. You open up my chest, I'm bleeding, I don't know what you're taking out. But guess what? You think Hashem doesn't hear the prayers of a barmaid in Utah, Alabama? Utah spelled E-U-T-A-W, not like U-T-A-H. There's a town called Utah, Alabama. Google it. Hashem hears the prayers of a barmaid in Utah, Alabama. What about an upright Jewish mother that raises her kids in Torah in Los Angeles? He doesn't only hear every single prayer, every single word you don't say, every single thought. Hashem is right there with you. Well, the young lady got up the next morning and she got a phone call from her girlfriend. Hey, Emily Lou, did you see the Birmingham Gazette this morning? No. Your boyfriend's on the front cover of the newspaper. What? So runs over to girlfriend with the newspaper, and here it is, the boyfriend, Billy Joe. And then Billy Joe got caught with 15 kilograms of uncut pure heroin in the back of his car, $12 million worth of this. Billy Joe is going up the river for a long time. And she looks, and she starts talking, and she's crying, and she's laughing. Thank good Lord, this is true. That book I saw, it's true. It came from you, and it's all for the best. If I were to marry him, and then I'd be with no husband and no money and a convict in jail for 12 years, it really is for the best. So she went right downtown, and she went to the tattoo, and she said to the tattoo guy, you put on my arm, E-M-U-N-A, Emunah. And the young boy in university said to his teacher, Rabbi Heinfeld, and that's how I know what the word Emunah means. This is the key. Can you imagine what Hashem does? Look what Hashem does for a young guy, a Jewish guy, that grew up in a non-religious home, takes him all the way down to the south, to Alabama, takes this young lady and puts her on a whole odyssey. He's a lawyer, but he's a pusher. And until she goes through what she does, and meanwhile, the Garden of Moon is floating around. It's floating around to Memphis, from Memphis to a bar in Alabama, to a bar in Alabama to a barmaid, so the Jewish boy from Cleveland can come down there and learn what the word Emunah means. Yishtabach Shmo La'ad. Mi K'Yamcha Yisrael, Mi Kamocha Bo'elim Hashem. You hear something like that. Wow, Hashem, you are great. Look at the choreography Hashem does in the world. So now we come back here to LA. Do you think possible that there's something you're really messed up in your life, a tattoo that you put on your neshama that you think you can never erase it? Hashem is going to make it all turn out for the good. That tattoo that you think you can't erase is going to turn out to be a Renoir or a Rembrandt on your neshama, and I'll prove it to you. Now let's go back to the laws that Emily Lou learned in the book, The Garden of Emunah. And I bring this right here, and if anyone hasn't read the Garden of Emunah, read it. But for first aid, I'm going to give you a master key to solve any solution. And we're going to see Baruch Hashem right here in Los Angeles. Last year we came here to Los Angeles, and there were couples here in Los Angeles. That's it. They came to me. Their marriage was finished. Finito. That's it. Nothing. No more hope. No more hope. Situations where the wife never wanted to see the husband again, where the husband, he's out of the house, and it's finished. And they came to me, and Lazer's got a smile on his face. He said, Rabbi, Don't you feel our pain? The guy says to me, individual, the husband and wife, and I got a smile on the face because I get a promise from my Rabbi, Rabbi Nachman, that comes by way to me from my beloved teacher and mentor of Shalom. And we also sing a song, very simple. We sing songs and we go around and we remember mantras. Ein shum yeush ba'olam, Amar Rabbi Nachman, ki b'chol makom shenafalta lesham, nimtza itcha Hashem yitbarach. Oh, because I can sing, the words translated, there's no despair in the world. Taught us Rabbi Nachman, because it doesn't matter wherever, how deep you fell. Hashem is right there with you. Oh, you can have a smile on your face, because Hashem is right there with you. You know what King David is? People talk about the kid, OCD. Oh, Rabbi, the psychiatrist, the psychotherapist told me my child had OCD. It's a mazel tov. What do you mean mazel tov? Rabbi, you don't have a heart. You don't have sympathy. Hey, do you know who had OCD? Mashiach had OCD. King David. I'll prove it to you. Psalm 139. Psalm 139. Open up 139. This is King David's people do. He says, Ibisat Shemayim Shamata. Hashem, when I'm on a high, David in the high with diamonds. Okay? King David says when he's up on a high, and he's way up there, he sees Hashem. Oh man, you think I'm on the high all the time? King David said, Imatzi Ashol, when I fall down and I'm lower than Gehinnom. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai writes in the Zohar, there are 7 departments of purgatory. The lowest one is Sheol, that's the bottom, rock bottom. King David says, when I fall rock bottom, he knows what it is rock bottom. Nobody had a life like King David. His father-in-law wanted to kill him. His sons wanted to kill him. His own father-in-law thought he was an illegitimate child. When he was 3 years old, threw him out to the desert so a bear and a lion would eat him. That's why King David killed a bear and a lion. He was a shepherd, and he had his ugatka, his slingshot, and he had no choice. King David had everyone against him. The whole world was against him. You think King David cried out of despair? And so what could he do? He was put in a thing with things that he didn't even ruin. His life was ruined before he even started. He fixed everything. How did he fix everything? King David had in his head and his heart the Garden of Amunah that later came down by way of Rabbi Nachman, my beloved teacher of Shalom, brought this knowledge from the upper world down here for us to learn how we could fix things. And we're going to learn how to apply this. King David says, when I'm up so high, I see Hashem. And when I'm down so low, Hashem is right there with me. I think there's a place where there's nobody. Here you are. Hashem is in L.A., he's certainly in Yerushalayim at the Kotel, and he's in Utah, Alabama, and Cleveland, Ohio, too. There's no way you can't find him. This is the lesson that Jonah the prophet, he tried to run away from Hashem. He tried to, he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He got swallowed up by a whale, and when inside the whale's belly, he called out to Hashem. Shivati Hashem, he calls out, Mimamakim. David, right, from the bottom of the depths, I call out to you. What's the bottom of the depths? Inside the whale's kishkis. Can you imagine 3 days in there? It wasn't a Charlie the Tuna commercial. It was down in the belly of a whale. Shem is everywhere. So no matter how low you think you are, and no matter what situation you think it can't be solved, it's right there. All right, now we're going to solve it. Now, our neshamas, we're solved up, we're ready, we know we can solve it. Because how are we going to solve it? And we tie everything together. What we learned in the Garden of Amunah, and if you haven't learned the Garden of Amunah, read the Garden of Amunah. And after you go on to that, graduate to the Garden of Peace, if you're a man, and Woman's Wisdom. And then read the Garden of Gratitude. And you read those 3 books, for a starter, you're going to have a happy life. I don't suggest, I promise you. 3 books that everyone has to read, required reading for the neshama. Garden of Amunah, Garden of Gratitude for everyone. For a man, the Garden of Peace. And for a woman, a Woman's Wisdom. Because if you don't read those books, you don't yet know what marriage is. And when you go up in Shemayim, you have complaints about your wife, complaints about your husband, and Hashem will say, why didn't you read those books? Why didn't you read those books? You said the Lazer and the boys came for Yerushalayim. They would have made money for the books. No. We don't want to make money. We don't make a cent on the books. Everything, the books, would go down printing more books. So there should be a tank. There's not an Israeli soldier in the south of Israel, in the northern border, that doesn't have Garden of Amun on his tank. That's where the prophets go. To make every single soldier in the Israeli army have Garden. So we're all soldiers against the evil inclination. We need this in our own home. We need this in our home. So now what do we do? Okay, everyone keep in mind the solution, the problem, that you think there's no solution. Now, up till now, you've been looking for a solution. This one's got an income problem. This one's about to lose his job. This one's about to lose his marriage. This one's about to lose a child. Maybe a child off the path that's really painful. Maybe a child that doesn't have Shalom Bayit, that is super painful for a parent. It shouldn't happen. My blessing for everyone that marries their kids, you should have such in-laws that you think you gave birth to them. This is the best blessing I could think of. And I hope that everyone has this. So now what do we do? Okay, went to the doctor. Doctor doesn't have a solution. And he gives all the time new treatment, doesn't do anything, still don't feel well. Went to the lawyer doesn't have a solution. Went to the CPA, and the CPA looks at my income tax return, and he says, I don't think you're going to go to jail, but you're going to be lucky if you get off $150,000. Maybe we could talk the IRS down to $140,000. But you're owing back taxes. Before you came to me, and you're working with the other accountant that didn't pay attention to the slipshod job. You're owing back taxes close to $500,000. Maybe $1 on 3 we could get you off the hook. Like, wait a second. I don't have $140,000. I only have $80,000 equity in my house, the rest of the mortgage. What, I'm going to lose my house? Lose this? In case you look at a situation, about to lose the house. What's been done has been done. So now what do? Everyone's got a situation. You've got a boss you can't get along with. You've got a customer that drives you crazy. You can't do without this customer, you don't think, but you've got a neighbor that makes life miserable for you. Now what do? The first thing is to believe emunah. If you believe that you can ruin something, believe you can rectify something. But it's not rectification of the body, because the lawyer doesn't have a solution, and the doctor doesn't have a solution, and the CPA doesn't have a solution. Why is Hashem closing all the doors? Because Hashem is waiting patiently. Beloved son, beloved daughter, when are you going to call my name? When are you going to try me? What did I put you in the world for? People know. I don't want to embarrass anybody. But here we have a Shomer Shabbat audience, a Shomer Shabbat. If I would ask in the audience, what are you doing in the world? And we're adults. I promise you that 85% of the audience does not know what we're doing in the world. Some would say, oh, maybe they think nice to learn Torah. You don't believe that. You're not here to learn Torah because you don't learn Torah. I'm here to make the next generation and to keep them in Torah. It sounds nice, but you don't believe that. The next generation, they see mom and dad are not particularly in Torah. Yeah, they have a kosher house, have Shabbat, they eat matzah on Pesach. That's funny, but next generation, all kinds of lofty things. Oh, I'm here to make the world a better place. You by yourself going to make the world a better? You really believe that? We're here. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're doing on earth. Now let's stop and think. Does everybody here believe in Hashem? If not, then I've got no problem in 2 minutes proving Hashem. If anybody has difficulty believing Hashem, tell me. It's very simple to prove. So simple. Okay, I know everybody here believes in Hashem. But does everybody believe that everything that happens in their life comes from Hashem? Not everybody believes in that. And that's the first principle of our Emunah. That's the first principle of our faith. Now, if I would go one step further, does everyone believe that everything Hashem does is for the best? Yes. How can that be for the best? What's bad? Or I have a relative with a terminal disease. The nasty, we call it the big C. In English, you say 4-letter words. In English, say 6-letter words. The worst cuss word in the English language is a 6-letter word that begins with C and ends with R. It's this terminal disease. You don't like that. It's a nasty one. How can that be from Hashem? Hashem's a loving Father. And how can that be for the good? What kind of God is this? So in order to understand what we're doing on earth and to understand why we have a problem and how to solve it, that if we ruin something to rectify, we have to know first what we're doing here. When you're in Japan and you can't read the road signs, first of all, you have to know, if you open up an English-Arabic dictionary, it's not going to help you get around Tokyo. You have to open up an English-Japanese dictionary. And look, this is a sign, go right. How do you say go right in Japanese? Yamaha huko, okay? And go left, Yamahita. Yamahuko and Yamahita. But you can't go in Arabic. It's not going to get you anywhere. So if we want to understand what Hashem's doing, we have to understand the road signs. And the road signs are the variables in our life, the stimuli in our life that Hashem is sending us, and we don't understand. But I'll take you to the very end and one thing, and then Kvod Rav will continue and explain to you in his drashot what we're doing here. The entire purpose of our being on earth is to get close to Hashem. People, Lazer, you're a nincompoop. I thank you. I appreciate it. People call me worse. What do you mean? Time to get close to Hashem. If somebody's smart and learns a little bit of Zohar, a little bit of Kabbalah, says, wait, the soul comes from right under the Kisei HaKavod, under the heavenly throne. The soul was close to Hashem before it came down here. So if the purpose of the world is to get close to Hashem, why does Hashem take the soul and throw it all the way down here to this earth? And this earth is the furthest place in the world away from Hashem. Everything is closer to Hashem. So if Hashem wants to be close, then Hashem was already there. So why does Hashem do that? The neshama cannot appreciate its status of being close to Hashem if it never learned emunah. Because if you're in the next world, and they have what's called the pleasures of the next world, without emunah, you can't understand. Can you imagine someone gives you a $500 ticket to the Philadelphia Philharmonic, and you're front row, but you never heard classical music. You don't appreciate the 16-part harmony. You don't know, sitting there. You know, maybe you come from Hawaii and you hear some lady with a hula hoop playing a ukulele. This is all the music you know. So what's it going to do? Or somebody, you come from, like where Yonatan's parents come from, Argentina, and you have the Mundial. You think American football is popular? American football is only in America and Canada. But what we call soccer, and in South America they say football in Espanol. Okay, and you see the World Championship, Argentina against Brazil. And you hear the greatest thing, 100 million people in the world glued to their television to see. It used to be at my time, it was Pele from Brazil. Goal! Goal! Oh, all these people. Is this what we're here on earth? Is here on earth? Okay, so look, I'm going to give you a ticket to the Mundial. Brazil against Argentina, championship game, and a $1,000 ticket front row, and you can see all these great players. Argentina against Brazil. Got one problem. Never played soccer in my life. I'm from Burlington, Vermont. Know how to ski. Know how to play baseball. Know how to play football. And I show, and I'm looking at these guys. 11 guys on one side, 11 guys on another side, and they're all in their underpants, and they're chasing the ball. Wow. And for this, 100 million people, and they're yelling, and you don't understand, they go crazy. But what do those people go crazy about? And they're chasing this and that. At least in football, timeout, the thing that plays, the guys are really big. We understand American football. Americans don't understand soccer. They don't understand. But the Europeans, they don't understand baseball and football. Argentina, baseball and football is the most boring game in the world. We can't watch it one inning of baseball. It's such a bore. They're running back and forth. Nobody understands because they don't know what they're doing there. So the neshama that never learned the emunah, it goes up in Shemayim, take a martyr's neshama. And I'll tell you something else. You have to understand, you don't know yourself. If you talk to the Mekubalim, the Kabbalists, the real Kabbalists, they say that most of the neshamot in this world, not new neshamot. Do you know where neshamot come from? Anybody that's under the age of 70 is probably a reincarnation of a Holocaust martyr. That in your last life you got killed in the Holocaust. But this is to show that the neshama is eternal. So you know what happens to somebody that dies on Kiddush Hashem as a martyr? The Gemara promises in the highest place in Gan Eden, the highest place next to Hashem. Now it's already not like the neshama that came down, didn't earn anything. Here, earn something. You died on Kiddush Hashem. Sanctification of Hashem's name. Nothing is bigger. Al Kiddush Hashem. And now you go upstairs, and Hashem gives you, here, this is your wonderful place. And what do you hear in the morning? A concert. You hear an argument between Rashi and his grandson, Rabbi Yonatan. And they're explaining a passage in Gemara that they were arguing about. Rashi says one thing, and Rabbi Yonatan and Tosfos says another thing. And you hear this. Right? What's going on here? I never learned. I was either, if I was in Argentina, I was playing football. And if I was in Minneapolis, Minnesota, or Green Bay, Wisconsin, I was playing American football. And I wasn't learning Rashi, and I wasn't learning Tosfos, and I never learned the Garden of Emunah. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here. So Hashem says to the neshama that got killed in the Holocaust, Neshamala, my little Neshamala, come here, and Hashem caresses Neshamala. Why are you not happy? He says, Hashem, I don't understand the concert. I don't understand what's going on. So Hashem says, I'm going to send you down one more time to earth. And I'm going to teach you one thing. I'm going to teach you emunah. And it's going to be difficult. But the next time you come, you're going to love this place. Because you understand me, and you're going to be close to me. That means every single neshama in this generation, we've all come for the same tikkun, the same correction, and that's to learn emunah. Now Hashem knows that this neshama, she can only learn emunah if she's got a lousy husband. And this neshama, he can only learn emunah if he's got a terrible boss. And this neshama, he can only learn emunah if you got a problematic kid. What we think is the worst problem in the world is the best thing in the world. But when is the best and when do we solve the problem? Now we apply our eyes of emunah. We don't look with eyes of the body, with material eyes, now spiritual eyes. Consider your problem now. Consider your problem. Let's work our way through the problem. Everyone tell themselves the problem. You need to exercise how to work your way through the problem. You have a problem that you don't think you could solve. All right. And you're blaming yourself. How did I get myself in this situation? How was I so stupid to say something so stupid to my wife's parents, to my husband's parents? How am I ever going to correct it? And you say something, don't forget it for the next 55 years. What am I going to do? With logic, material logic, flesh and blood, brain logic, there's no solution. Now, I'm going to disengage from that, and I'm going to remember principle of Emunah number 1. Everything comes from Hashem. Right now, we're going to kill the worst evil inclination and make it feel good. Because the number 1 worst evil inclination in the world, if I would ask you, you know what you would tell me? Yeah, maybe, you know. No, that's not the worst evil inclination. That's number 2. Number 1 worst evil inclination, when I tell you it is, you're going to be surprised and you're going to say, yeah, that's right. When you look in the mirror and you say, I'm not good enough. When you look and say, how come I'm not the head rabbi of the city, of the country? How come I haven't made $1 million? How come I'm not beautiful? How come I'm not such a good cook like the neighbor? How come my house isn't so gorgeous? How come my kids aren't good as her? You know what it's saying when I'm not good enough? Self-persecution. This is the worst evil inclination. When you think that you're not good enough, and I have a surprise for you, beloved brothers and sisters. Every one of you is perfect. How can you say that? Only Hashem is perfect. What do we mean by perfect? You are perfect in order to do your job on earth. Hashem gave you everything you need to do your job on earth. And to look in the mirror and say, I'm not perfect, means that the Creator's not perfect. And that's heresy. We can't say that. That's kfirah. Hashem made everyone perfect to do a job. That means that you now have the capability to solve your problem. But you can't do it unless you look at Hashem. And remember that your problem came from Hashem. It is not your fault. Because the Rambam says it's not your fault. The Rambam says that He alone, Hashem, does, and will do. It's not you, beloved brother Moshe, and it's not you, beloved sister Sarah. You didn't mess up. Hashem put you in that situation. Yeah, it's Hashem's fault. Why did Hashem do it? So you get close to Him. Because if you didn't have the problem, if you had all the money in the world, and all the health in the world, and perfect kids, you'd be so far away from Hashem. The might of my right hand. No, that's not what Hashem wants. Because the arrogant person and Hashem can't be in the same world. Hashem wants humility. So He gives you a problem where now I can't solve the problem. Not the lawyer, not the school psychologist, and not the doctor, and not the CPA. Only Hashem. And this is what Hashem wants. So now finally, we come down and we turn to Hashem, and Hashem says, this, my beloved son and daughter, is what I've been waiting for. So now that you're come to me, this is the beginning of the solution. And now we remember the second chapter of the Garden of Munah. Principle number 1, we apply to our problem. Everything is from Hashem. So now we feel better about ourselves. It's not my fault. And I'm telling you, there is no way, husband, you yell at your wife because she bumped up the fender of the new car. There was no way she couldn't. Hashem made her do it. Why did Hashem made her do it? Because you are worshiping the new Mercedes. Oh, bowing down to the new Mercedes. Hashem doesn't want you to worship the new Mercedes. I'll tell you what your new Mercedes. Now love it with the dent in the fender. She took the new Mercedes. Hashem did it. There was no way in the world that she could avoid the accident. Because Hashem made it happen. So when you look, it's not her. So what are you going to do? You're going to slaughter your wife because she made a little dent in the fender? Because the dent in the fender, a husband makes a dent in her neshama? How can you do that? How can you be so cruel? It's a neshama Hashem gave you. When you take a knife and put it in your child because he put a dent, hey, Daddy, can I borrow the car? I got a date tonight. Oh yeah, you can borrow the car, and he comes home with a dent in the fender. You know, there's a story, true story. Took his father's new Audi and put a dent in the fender, and he said, Dad's going to kill me. He couldn't come home. The young boy OD'd because he's afraid to face his father because he put a dent in his father's car. And it's the exact same story in the Gemara tractate Sofrim, a little boy in Bnei Brak, that he broke something in the home, and he went and he jumped in a hole and committed suicide, little boy, because he was afraid of his father's anger. Anger means I don't believe in Hashem. And anger, like we said this afternoon, it's treif, it can't be in a Jewish home. So we think the first thing that came from Hashem, it's not my wife, it's not my husband, it's Hashem. Now the second chapter in the Garden of Munah says that everything is for the best. So what can be good about the dented fender in my new Mercedes? And so I don't worship the car, and I worship Hashem. And now you know what's going to be? That dent in the Mercedes is going to make your marriage better than it ever was. Because your wife, she's now shaking like a leaf. He's going to kill me. I put a dent in the fender. You plug in your problem. And you're going to look at her. You say, sweetheart, you think that car that cost $200,000, it means anything to me? You're worth to me $200 trillion. What? You now have a chance to show your wife that you love her more than anything on earth, and certainly more than a piece of metal. And she was so scared of your reaction, but meanwhile, under the table, you've been learning the Garden of Amunah. And if you're really smart, you've been learning the Garden of Peace. You have a good life. So now, because of that little bit of Amunah, And the relief she has, I thought he was going to kill me. Said, he kills me. He says, sweetheart, I'm afraid that you probably went through some worries. We're going to go to the best restaurant tonight. What? He's taking me out? He hasn't taken me out in 2 months since our anniversary. Yeah, we're going out tonight. Wow, what a husband. She says, wow. And your relationship now goes to somewhere where it's never been. Why? Because of the debt. Because you look at that problem through eyes of emunah. And it could be a dent in your body. Read the Garden of Gratitude. Person comes home with the doctor, and the doctor says, I'm sorry, sir. Go have a good time. True story that we've seen time and again. He can give you names and addresses of people all over the United States we've been, in towns all over the United States, where the doctor sent them home. Forget about the chemo. You've only got 8 weeks to live anyway. Have a good time. Why do you have the headaches from the chemo and lose your hair and just have a good time and write a will and, put the grandchildren on your lap and you're going bye-bye anyway. I said, wait a second, this comes from Hashem. This is a wake-up call from Hashem. If the person looks at it right. If he listens to the doctor, he's in big trouble. Mr. Doctor, do you give out life and death? My Gemara, Tractate Pesachim, says that Hashem has the 3 keys. Life and death, Parnasa, and soulmate. Hashem has those keys, nobody else. So how's the doctor have the nerve to say 8 weeks to live? You got a guy, my own cousin in Miami, my own cousin. We were in the car, Yosef and I were in the United States, we were in Chicago and Miami right before Rosh Hashanah. And we were in Miami, I got a call from my mother. Your cousin Alan, he's in the oncology ward, and the situation is bad, and the doctor says he's got 10 days to live. That was the 15th of Elul, and where are we now? We're in Kislev. Okay? The doctors told him he got 15 lives to 7 years ago, but he made shuvah and he started reading Emunah books. Well, in 15 days to live back there, that means Rosh Hashanah had been finished. But he's already been through Tishrei and Cheshvan, already 2 months, and he's still, same thing. I said, hold on, you're going to be around, just hold on to Emunah. Alan, hold on to Emunah. We see this in their people. What do? They hold on to Emunah. They get close to Hashem. Hashem doesn't need a wake-up call anymore. Hashem doesn't need a wake-up call. With Emunah, you think there's something you can't fix? Hashem can fix anything. And the third principle in the 3rd chapter of Garden Emunah teaches us that everything is for a purpose. So let's review. We take our problem and we think, oh, this is terrible. Hold it. It comes from Hashem. I already feel better. Hashem is a loving Father. It means that no matter what He does, it doesn't matter whether I understand or don't understand, it's all for the best. Principle number 2, it's all for the best. So no matter how black things look, it's going to be good. I think it's all for a purpose. Why do we have the problem? Because Hashem knows this is the only way we can get close to Him. So now, once we get a book called The Garden of Emunah, or a book called The Garden of Gratitude, and a book called Woman's Wisdom, or The Garden of Peace, and we see what marriage is all about, and we see what life is all about, and see what getting close to Hashem is all about, and we get it close to Hashem on our own accord, Hashem takes the problem away. The problem that you never thought you could fix, boom, it's not there anymore. All of a sudden, your mother-in-law wants to forgive you. All of a sudden, your boss, he turns completely around, and he says, you know something? Yesterday, he was going to fire you. Today, you're the best salesman I ever had. Who turned their heart around? Hashem did. You know why? Because you got close to Hashem. It's not logical, but Emunah is above logic. Logic says there's no solution. You can never fix it. Emunah says everything you can fix. Everything. We remember these 3 principles. Everything is from Hashem, and everything is for the good, and it's all for a purpose. And apply this in our lives to the problem. You can't think. You wait and see the solution you get. Those that need good health, B'ezrat Hashem, they get great health. Those that need their soulmates, they get their soulmates. Amen. Those that need a good income, you get a good income. Those that need whatever salvation they will, wait till you see. Not only your own salvation, but the salvation of all of Klal Yisrael, Mashiach, and our Beit HaMikdash, that we all see together speedily our days. Amen. Amen. Beloved brothers and sisters, we're not running away. Rabbi Yonatan and I will be right outside. Where's the book table? Where is it? It's outside. We'll be right by the book table. I strongly urge you for yourself, for your family, for your friends. You could save a life. You put an Amunah book in the hands of someone, and you don't know they're about to commit suicide. The story is a person about to commit suicide, goes in the car, he's about to drive off the cliff, and he hears something. He turns on a CD, and the name of the CD was Hashem Loves You, and all of a sudden he hears this voice. It's the same voice here in the microphone, and says, hold on, bro. Before you do what you're going to do, remember that Hashem loves you. The guy pulls over to the side of the road, he cries for 3 hours, and he came back home. He was going to drive himself over the cliff. True story, Boulder, Colorado. You give somebody an Amunah CD, a book, you can save a life. You know what happens when you save a life? The Gemara Tractate Sanhedrin says, he who saves one life saves an entire world. You walk into Gan Eden. You can save lives, not only yours, your children. Take it. I strongly urge you. This is the key to life. You come to the next world, and you say, you did all this great stuff, but you didn't do what you were supposed to do. You cannot know to do what you're supposed to do if you don't know about Hashem, don't know about Munah. I strongly urge you, B'ezrat Hashem. In another 3 weeks, it's going to be Hanukkah. What greater gift of Hanukkah? Hanukkah is the holiday of Emunah, where there was no chance to defeat the Greeks. And a handful of Jews with Emunah defeated the Greek Empire and re-sanctified our temple. So now, month of Kislev, it's a special time for Emunah. Even if you learned Emunah book, take Emunah books, give it for Hanukkah presents. I guarantee you, you will be saving lives. Even if you don't know, you give someone else, and you save a life, you save a suicide, you save a marriage. Wow, you know what it means to save a marriage? You know, here in the valley, in LA, there are people with marital problems. Give someone woman's wisdom. She doesn't know what to do with her husband. And the husband won't learn Garden of Peace. Rabbi Shalom says he wrote woman's wisdom for the women whose husbands won't learn the Garden of Peace. And guys, you know something? When you get in the next world, Hashem is not going to ask you, why didn't you rob and steal? But why didn't you read the Garden of Peace? Because if you read the Garden of Peace and you have a good marriage, your children will have a good marriage. It doesn't matter where you send your children, to Harvard, to Yale, to UCLA. If mommy and daddy don't have peace in the home, what's peace in the home? Peace in the home is not Egypt and Israel. Non-belligerent treaty. Peace is what it says in the Ketubah. Ve'eflach, ve'okil, ve'falmes. When mommy and daddy cherish each other and they're together, this is peace. And if you really want to learn how to get that, you got to read the Garden of Peace. And if you don't have patience to read, listen to Amunah CDs. Strongly urge you, because we want to see everyone happy. And the most frustrating thing in the world, we go around the world, people come to private appointments, I see people that are miserable. And you don't have to be miserable. With an Amunah book, it can change your life. Amen. And this is what we want, this happiness, because we want to see happy parents and happy children. And Hashem wants to see us happy, because if we're not happy, we won't have the power to receive Mashiach and to continue Beit HaMikdash. So enjoy the Amunah books. If you like, or you want to ask a question, like a bracha, we're right here. We'll be happy to sign a book for you, to give you a bracha with all our hearts. And thank Hashem, thank all of you for the privilege of being together tonight. Chodesh Tov and Shavua Tov. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful month. Amen.